Okay, hi guys. I'll be telling you about the add-on modules of Fedena today. So the add-on modules are the extra functionalities that we have in Fedena. So let's see the add-on modules one by one. The first add-on module that we have is the data palette. So here, this boxes that you see when you log in as any user on the dashboard, this is known as a dashlet. And each dashlet that you see here is giving you some information about your institute as per the data entry that you've done. So you will get this kind of dashboard when you have enabled the data palette plugin of Fedena. If you do not enable data palette, you will get iconic dashboard. So that is the first plugin that we have. The second plugin that we have is under settings. So we'll go to administration and settings, and here we'll go to general settings, and here we will have the theme. So we'll be able to select any color as per what we want, and we can select the font of Fedena. So this is the theme plugin of Fedena. So when you enable that, you will get an option to select theme as well as font. Then you have Moodle. So if you have enabled Moodle from your admin panel, you will get to write Moodle URL here. So that means Moodle has to be installed in one of the servers, and that link of that server has to be mentioned here. Once you do that, whenever you are going to admit a student in Fedena, the same student will have the same login and password to his Moodle account. So you need not create a separate Moodle account for the students. So that is about the Moodle plugin. The mobile plugin of Fedena will change the UI of Fedena as per mobile's interface. So there are some basic functionalities like reminders, events, attendance, and application of the employees. So such kind of functionalities, the very basic functionalities, are available with the mobile version of Fedena. So that will be available when you enable the mobile plugin in your admin panel. Then you have the gallery plugin. So you can find gallery plugin by going to collaboration, and here you have gallery. And here first you have to create a category to be able to add a photo. And this addition of photo and creation of category, these rights are given to the administrator or anyone with gallery admin privilege. So I'll click on new to be able to create a new category. I'll give the name, for example, I can give here Christmas Day celebrations, and I'll be able to get that here. And inside that category, I'll be able to add photos. And when I add a photo, I'll be able to share the same with the set of employees and the set of students. So here I get an option to select department and batches. So only these concerned users will be able to see the same photo in their login. So this is about the gallery plugin. Then we have the OAuth plugin. Now when you enable the OAuth plugin from your admin panel, and also when you have done the plugin settings, then you will be able to log in using your Google account. So this functionality will not only be available to the admin, but all the users of Fedena. So any user, if he is having his Gmail ID, Gmail account, he can log in Fedena, provided the OAuth plugin is enabled and plugin settings are done by the administrator in the admin panel. So the admin panel that I am talking about is accounts.fedena.com. So to this admin panel, you will have a username and password. And when you go to the school here that you've created, you can edit the plugins. So here, so these are the plugins that I'm talking about. So you can enable or disable the plugin. So for example, this is the plugin OAuth. When you enable this plugin and when you have done the plugin settings, so when you have plugin settings here, when you have done the Google OAuth settings, you have given the key and the secret. as per the steps that we have for doing these settings, then you will be able to log in using your Google account. So this is about the OAuth plugin that we have. The next plugin that we have is OAuth 2 Provider. So here when I go to plugins, I'll be able to see OAuth 2 Provider, and I can enable the same. And OAuth 2 Provider plugin will enable Manage Client Link. So when I go to Administration, I go to Settings, I will get this link here, Manage Clients. So this is used to register any third-party application that you want, that application wants to access Fedena database. So I can click on New here, and I'll be able to create that application. I'll be able to register that application. So I'll click on New, and it will ask me the name of the client, the URI of the client, so where the application is installed, and whether it is verified by Fedena or not. And once I do that, I'll get a client ID and client secret to that application. It means that third-party application can use this client ID and this client secret. And when it does that, Fedena will authorize it to access its database. So that application can be any kind of application. For example, if you want to take the attendance report of the students, any kind of attendance report, or you want to modify any kind of attendance data, not only attendance data, any kind of data, and you want to show the same in Fedena, then you can create such kind of application and you can integrate with Fedena. Some of the applications are also available when you go to the Fedena marketplace. So you have marketplace.fedena.com. Here, these are the applications, third-party applications that are already created and can be easily integrated with Fedena. So you can have a look at them as well here. And once we have integrated and the application will be able to access Fedena database, we can also choose to show the application inside Fedena. So if we want that, we need to enable here App Frame plugin. When we enable that plugin, you will get a link of apps here. And when you open this link, you have to go to Manage Apps to create a frame of that third-party application inside Fedena. And we'll click on New here. And we'll give the name of the application. We'll give the URL, so the first page of that application that will be shown in Fedena. Then we can open that application inside Fedena itself, or we can open it in a new tab. So that option is available. And then we can give the client name, so the client that we just created. So we can select that client and who all should be able to access this third-party application. So that can be selected from here. So once we do that, and let's say I've logged in as any one of these roles, I'll be able to see apps and I'll be able to see that application. And when I open it, the frame of that application will open inside Fedena. It need not be a static application. It can be a dynamic application, and it can show you a report of students or any kind of report that you have queried for the Fedena database. So this is about the app frame and the OAuth 2 Provider plugins in Fedena. The next plugin that we have is Big Blue Button. So you will find that under Collaboration, Collaborate. So here you have to enable Big Blue Button, and when you do that, you will be able to see Collaborate here. So Big Blue Button is used when you want to create online video conferencing in Fedena. So for that, again, we need to integrate Big Blue Button with Fedena before starting using it. So we have to go to bigbluebutton.org, and you can try the demo here. And the same interface will be available inside Fedena. And then you can also download the source code of Big Blue Button, and you can follow the instructions that are given while downloading here. And once you have done that, you can integrate the same by going to Servers inside Fedena, and you can create a new server. You can give the name of the server, the URL where that server, where the Big Blue button is hosted, and the salt ID as provided when you install Big Blue button. So once we have done this, we can create online meetings. So I'll go to online meeting, I'll click on new, and I'll be able to give the name of the meeting, the server where the Big Blue button is hosted, so the one that we just registered. We can select the participants. So we can select the teachers and we can select the students as well. And then we can select the date as well as the time on which the meeting is going to happen. And when these concerned users log in, they'll be able to see the same meeting under My Meetings, and they can start the meeting if the time of the meeting is reaching. So this is about the Big Blue button plugin that we have in Fedena. Then we have the Pay plugin. So under administration, we have online payment and we have to do the settings. So Pay plugin is used when you want to give the facility to the students or the parents to be able to pay the fees from their login itself. So online payment of fees, and that fees can be student fee, applicant registration fee, hostel fee, or transport fee. So for all these models, we can enable online payment, and the gateways can be PayPal or Authorize.net for now. So we have two gateways, PayPal and Authorize.net. You have to buy accounts with PayPal or Authorize.net, and once you do that, you will get a PayPal ID in case of PayPal, and in case of Authorize.net, you will get merchant ID and transaction password. So that has to be entered and the changes have to be saved. Once this is done, and once, let's say, the fee is scheduled, the students and the parents will be able to pay online. So I'm logging in as one of the student now, and I can show you how the interface will look like for the student, and the same will be visible for the parent as well. So here I'll go to my profile, and under my profile I'll be able to see fees. So the fees that is applicable to me will be available here, and here I can see that this is the fees that was created and it is unpaid, and this is the amount. When I click on it, I'll be able to see the receipt and I can pay the fee. So I get this option of pay fee only when online payment is enabled by the administrator. So when I click on it, it will redirect me to the gateway as selected by the administrator, and I'll be able to pay the fees online. So this is about the online payment plugin in Fedena. Now the next plugin that we have is blog. So blogging is not allowed for administrator. What that means is I cannot create my own blog. I can only view the blog posts as created by others. So for that reason, I'll be logging as one of the employees or students. So any employee or student will be able to perform blogging. So here I'll get this option under collaboration, which is blog. And I'll go to settings for the first time, and I'll go to my blog for the first time, and I'll create my blog by giving the name. So here I can give my unique name to the blog. So let's say the name is, so this is the unique name that I'm giving to the blog. And once I do that, I can create a post inside the blog. So I can give the title of the post. So let's say this is the title. I can mention the body. I can have links here. I can insert images, videos, and I can mention the normal content as well. And I can save this as a draft, or I can publish it. Once I publish it, it will be available for all the other users. So if I log in as another employee now, or even the student, I'll be able to comment on the post. So here I'm logging in as another employee, and I'll be able to see the blog under collaboration, here blog. And I'll be able to see the blog that is posted, and when I click on it, I'll be able to favorite the post as well. So the posts can be favorited, and I can mention the comment here like this. And now this user will be able to see the notifications as well. So let's say I've logged in as this user who created this post, and when I go to activities here, I'll be able to see who has commented on my post. So this option will be available to the users. So this is about the blog module of Fedena. Then we can see the assignment module. So again, assignment module will be available to the teachers, so to the employees who are associated with the subjects. So I'm logging in as an employee now, and if I'm associated with the subject, I'll go to assignment. So I'll have this link under academics, and I'll be able to create new assignment. And here I'll be able to select the subject. So all the subjects will appear for which I am the teacher, along with the batch. So this is the subject followed by the batch in which I am taking this subject. And I can select the students who all should be participating in this assignment. I can give the title of the assignment. So let's say this is the assignment title. And I can give the content of the assignment as well here. So like this. If the content is longer, I can also choose a file here. I can attach a file, and the due date of the assignment can be mentioned, which will be appearing for all these participants of the assignment. So once I create it and I log in as one of the users, so I'm logging in as one of the student now. And here I'll be able to go to academics, and I'll have assignment. And here I'll be able to see the assignment. So this was the assignment that is just created. And when I click on the name of the assignment, I'll be able to see the other details as well. And I can answer this assignment. If there is an attachment, I can download that as well. Otherwise, I can answer this assignment from here, and I can mention the title of the answer. I can give the content. Again, content can be pasted in form of file as well. So once this is done, and once I log in back as a teacher now, I'll be able to see the students who have answered or who are yet to answer this assignment. So I'll be selecting the subject, and all the assignments that I've given to the students will appear. And when I click on the assignment, I'll be able to see more details. So this shows the assigned students, this shows the answered, and this shows the pending. So when I click on answered, I'll be able to click on the name, and I'll get the details like this. If there is a download, if there is a file that was attached by the student, I can download that as well. And I can accept the answer or reject it. If I reject the answer, the student will be notified and he can submit the answer again. If I accept the answer, the student will not be able to submit again. So here I am accepting this answer. So the student will be notified that his assignment is accepted. So this assignment creation privilege is available to the employees who are associated with the subjects, and they can create assignments for their own subjects which the students can answer for a particular batch. So this is about the assignment plugin that we have. Let's see the next plugin, which is discipline. So discipline plugin is used when a student is complaining against another student and we want to issue that complaint. So the student has to come to the discipline admin, and the discipline admin will be able to see or lodge a complaint under academics discipline. So here I'll be going to new to lodge a complaint, and the complaint number will automatically appear. I'll give the title, the description of the complaint, and the trial date. So I can mention that, and the complaint by. So who all students are complaining, it may be more than one. So I have to search the student like this. I can select that student here. Complaint against can also be more than one student. Jury is the employees who can take decision on this discipline issue. So they will be able to close the discipline issue, comment on it. So these are the employees that we have. Responsible officials are again the employees who will be able to comment on this discipline issue. So if there are any witnesses, we can mention them here and they'll be able to comment on this discipline issue. And once we do that, and when I log in as any one of the concerned participants, I'll be able to see the discipline like this. And I can add comments here. So any user can add these comments. And the decision for this discipline issue will be taken by the jury here. So E1 employee or E45 employee will be able to close this discipline issue. Others will only be able to comment on it. And reply on comment is also possible here, like this. So right now the status of this issue is pending. I can close the issue if I've logged in as any one of the jury here. I'll click on close and I can mention the verdict. I can mention the comments and who all are the convicted users. Whether it is both the users for whom the issue was raised or any one of them, that can be selected. So this is about the discipline module that we have. Then let's see the data management plugin. So we'll go to data and reports, and here we have data management. Data management is used when you want to keep record of any kind of data. So you have to create a new category first. For example, I've created a new category called computer lab or lab equipments to keep a track of them. So to create a new category, I'll click on new. And I'll be able to give the name of the category, the description, and for this category, what all do I want to keep a track of. So those fields I'll be creating. So I want to keep a track of employee ID, which will be a text box. So I can select the input method, which is a text box, drop down, or a checkbox. The second field, computer name. So like this, I can keep on adding fields here. And for this category, then I can create entries. So when I click on this category, you will see I'll get an option to create a new entry here. And when I click on it, it will be asking me the values against the fields that I just created. So I can give the values, something like this. So here I'm tracking the laptops that are allocated to the employees. So I can save it. And I've also done a lot of other entries, so it is appearing like this. I can edit any entry or delete any entry. And for this, I can take a printout as well at any point from here. So any kind of data can be managed using the data management plugin. Then let's see some finance related plugins that we have under administration, finance, and fees. So the first plugin that we have is instant fee. So instant fee is any kind of fee that is not scheduled. So any kind of income that you want to take from the student or the employee or even the guest. You can create that kind of fee and you can take the same from the user. So first step is to manage instant fee. And here you have to click on add category to be able to add a category of that income. So for example, I've added a category, I've given it a name called picnic. Like this, I can also have damages. So inside this category, once I've created, I'll be able to create particulars. So I'll click on add particular and I'll give the name of the particular. So what kind of damage is possible? So let's say this is one of the particular. I can mention the amount here. Like this, I've created other particulars as well here. And now if I want to take this kind of instant free from the student or the employee or any other user, I'll go to instant fees and pay fees. And here I can select from whom I want to take this kind of fees. So I'll be searching that a user by the user name. So here, let's say this is the user. I'll be selecting the category applicable. So damages. And for what kind of damage is this student going to pay for? So I can select that here. So let's say this student is going to pay for a book that he has lost. So that fine is 50. It can be edited as well here. You can even add a particular here at any point. That will get added to this amount. And we can select the payment mode and the payment note that will be available or that will be visible in the receipt that we generate after paying the fees. So this receipt, we'll be able to see the payment mode and the note as well. So instant fee is used when you want to take any kind of fee which is not scheduled. So this is besides the normal fee that we have. Then if we see the transactions here, so for this category, I can see what are the transactions that have happened for a particular duration. So I'll be able to see the same here. So this is about instant fee plugin. Then the next one is fee import. Now the general rule says that first time you have to create a batch, you have to add all students to it and then create the fees for that batch. Now once you have done that, let's say a new student you are admitting in that batch. So in that case, the fee that you've already created for the batch will not be applicable to the new student. So if you want to make that fee available for the new student as well, so that you can collect from him, you will be selecting that batch here in which you admitted the new student. And you will see that let's say this Holly here is a student for whom the fee was already created. So she was already there in the batch. That is why this is already coming as checked. Now, if there is a student which is a new student, let's say this is a student who is newly admitted in this batch. So when I click on it, you will see that this collection will not be automatically applied to this student. If I want to apply this collection, I'll be checking and I'll be assigning. And once I've done that, I'll be able to collect the fees by going to collect fees here, by going to fee submission for each student. So I'll be able to search the student here by the name of the student like this. And I'll be able to select his fee collection and I can take the same fee from the student. So this is for the new students who join Fedena when the fee is already created for the batch. Now let's say another plugin that we have in finance, which is Tally. So Tally is a financial software which is used to track all the finances, all the incomes and expenses that you have. Now if you want to sync Tally with Fedena, then you can do the settings and the general settings. Now Tally has to be installed in one of the servers, and the IP of that server along with the port number has to be mentioned here in the general settings. And then we can choose to enable live sync, meaning that whenever you are doing a transaction in Fedena, any kind of income or any kind of expense, do you want the same to be reflected in Tally at the same time? So if you want that, you can enable it, and you can also set the start sync date here. If you do not want to enable live sync, you have an option of manual sync as well. So here, when you click on manual sync, for a particular duration, all the transactions that you have done will be synced in Tally. So what all transactions we are doing in Fedena will be synced in Tally. So I'll be able to select the duration here, and all the transactions that have happened between 7th of January to 26th of January will be synced in Tally now if I schedule it. So this is manual sync, and then I have bulk export. So this is third kind of option that is available besides live sync and manual sync, where I can schedule an export. So here I'll be able to select the kind of ledger for which I want to schedule an export. So once I do this, all the transactions that are related to these ledgers, I will get them in an Excel sheet which can be uploaded in Tally. So in Tally you have an option of importing. You can import that and it will be synced. The data in Tally will be updated accordingly. We can see the failed syncs here. So any kind of sync that has failed for a particular date and the reason for it will be mentioned here. So this is about how we can sync Tally with Fedena. Now for doing the general settings, we have to go to organizations and we have to create the company name as per what you have in Tally. So you already might have some company name in Tally. That name has to be given here. You can have more than one company name here. So like I have given here, this has to exactly match as what you have given in the Tally software. Similarly, voucher types. So you can create the voucher types as per the kind of transactions that you want. Again, they should match what you have in Tally. So I've created here payment as one and receipt as another. Then accounts. So account, again, this is the term that you will find in Tally as well. So as per the account that you have in Tally, the same account name has to be given here and added. Again, you can have more than one accounts here. Now ledger is the most important thing here. So we can create ledger. To create a ledger, we'll have to give the name of the ledger and what is the transaction category that it is associated with. It means, for example, here I have given the name to be employee salary, which will be same as I will have in Tally. I've selected the company, related voucher and the related account. So again, all these are already there in Tally. So the same things I'm selecting. And here, what kind of transaction is required? It means whenever I approve a salary in Fedena, the amount will be synced under the ledger employee salary in Tally as well. So like this, I've created another ledger which is student fee. So here, this kind of ledger is related to fee. So like this, I can create ledgers for any of these categories, or I can even merge one or two categories in the same ledger. So this is how we will be doing the settings, and we can enable sync, and all the transactions that we have in Fedena will get in sync with Tally. Then let's see the next plugin that we have, which is Paul. So you will find that under collaboration here. So Paul is used when you want to take opinion of the users on a particular topic. So here I'll be able to create a new Paul as a Fedena administrator or as anyone with poll privilege. So I'll click on new poll and I'll give the title of the poll. And I can give some description here. And I can mention what all options I want to give to the users from which they can select. So like this. And I can even allow the users to be able to write their own answer besides these two answers that I give them. And I can make this poll open so that the other users can can choose the options. And then I can select the participants. So who all will be able to participate in this poll, and I can post it. So right now I've made it for all the users. I've selected all the batches and all the departments. And now when I log in as any one of the user, so I'll be logging in as, let's say, this employee, and I'll be able to see the poll under collaboration here. And I can select the poll that is applicable to me, and I'll be able to vote for it like this. I can write my own answer since that option was given like this. So here I can, again, let's say for this poll I can give some option here. I can vote for it, and I'll also be able to see the result of the poll. So the total number of votes are available here. And I can click on it and I'll be able to see who has answered which option, how many votes for each option is there. So this is about the poll plugin that we have. The next plugin is placement. So placement is used when the companies are coming to the universities or the colleges and they want to recruit the students. So we can announce placements for a particular company. We can set the date of interviews, tests, and we can mention the job description. We can invite students, approve their registrations, and the student can appear for the placement, and we can declare results. All those options are available under academics in placement. So here I'll be able to announce new placement. So here I'll be giving the title of the placement. So we can say something like this. And we can mention the date. So when are the interviews and the tests for this placement going to happen? So by default it is 1 week. We can change it here. We can give the company name. We can mention the job description here. And we can create this placement. Once we do that, we'll be able to invite the students. So we can select the batch who will be able to participate in this placement, and we can select the students here. And we can even select multiple batches like this. And I can invite these students. Now I'll log in as one of the student, and I'll be able to apply for this kind of placement. So this option that I've been given, I'll be able to apply for I'll be able to register for this placement. So I'm logging in as the student now. And I'll be able to see the placement as an event in the dashlet itself. Otherwise, I can go to academics here, and I can go to placement, and I'll be able to see the placement that is applicable to me. So I'll click on it, and I can see the job description from here, and I can view the invitation. So all the details will appear, and I can apply for this placement. Once I've applied, the placement admin or the Fedena administrator will be able to see the placements. So here I'll click on the placement name, and I'll be able to see the registrations here. And here I can see the students who I invited and how many of them have responded. And if they have responded, I can approve the registration or reject it. So here, let's say I'm approving the registration. Once I do that, on the day on which the placement is happening, and I can mark the student attended. By default, it is not attended. I can mark the student attended here if the student has appeared for the interviews and the tests. And then I can approve the placement of the student, meaning that the student has passed this recruitment process. So he has been placed in this company, and the same will be notified to the student. So if I log in as the student now, I'll be able to see the status as placed. So here I can see all the placements. I can even archive a placement. So if this placement event has happened, I can archive this event. So it will no longer appear in the list of active placements here. For a particular kind of placement, I can even see the report. So who all are invited students, who all are placed students. So this will be really helpful to see the list of students who are placed in that recruitment drive. So this is about the placement plugin that we have. Let's see the next plugin, which is tasks. So we'll go to collaboration, and we have here task. And I'll be able to create a task and assign it to the other users. And the other users can be employees or they can be students. So anyone will be able to assign a task, provided they should have the task management privilege. So when they have the task management privilege, they will get this option here, new task, and they'll be able to give the title of the task. So the example of this, the usage of this module will be, for example, the head of the department want to take a report of a particular batch from the teachers. So he can assign this task to a particular department. So here we can give something like report submission for a particular month. So we can give for Feb 2015. We can mention the description of the report. If the report is longer, we can even attach a file. So the concerned department will be able to download the file and fill it and reattach it. I'll be selecting the employees for whom this kind of task is applicable. So I'll be able to select like this. And even the students here. So if this kind of task is applicable to them, I can select the batch and assign the students the task. And what is the start date of the task and the end date of the task? This will be available. This will be viewable to these members. And once I save it, now I'll be logging in as one of the concerned employees for whom this task is assigned. And I'll be able to see the same under the tasks. So here I'll be able to see by going to collaboration, and I have tasks. So the tasks that are assigned to me, I can see that. So I can see the status as well. So it is currently assigned. This is the due date and it is assigned by the admin. So the logged in users username will appear here. So when I click on it, I'll be able to see more details. I can download the file that is attached. I can post an update and attach a file. So if I've completed this task, I'll be able to attach a file from here. And I can submit this update. I can also see the other users to whom this task is assigned by going to assign to. And once I've posted an update, I can even post it in the form of a file. So once I've done that, the admin or the person who assigned the task will be able to see the update. So he'll go to collaboration and tasks, and here he'll be able to see the task that is created, and he'll click on it and he can see the update that is posted. And if any attachment is there, he can download that and view that as well. So if he feels that the task is completed, he can mark the task as completed from here. And the same will be notified to the concerned employees for whom the task was created. And he can reassign the task as well at any point. So this is about the task management plugin that we have. The next plugin, let's see, it is discussion. So we have that under collaboration. So here I have discussion. So discussion is you can create your discussion group and start any kind of discussion in it where all the members of that group will be able to comment. So here I'll create a group. To create a group, I'll give the name of the group. For example, I'll give, let's say, Spanish learning. I'll select the department or the set of employees who should be able to participate in it. And I'll select the batch if I want the batch also to be able to participate in it. I can also make it specific, so only for a batch or only for a set of students in a batch or only for a particular department. That can also be done. So once I do this, this group will be coming here. So I have all these groups as a logged in user, so I'm able to see them. I can click on the group and I'll be able to create a post or share a post with the other users. So I can mention the post here, I can mention the description, I can even upload a document or an image here and I can post it. And any other user of this discussion group can comment on it. So if I log in as any one of these users, I'll be able to comment on this post. So discussion is different from blog in a way that we can create groups here. And only the group members will be able to see each other's activity and comment on it, unlike blog where everyone will be able to comment and see the posts which the other user has created. Then let's see the next plugin that we have, which is Document Manager. So we'll find that under collaboration by the name Documents. And here we'll be able to create a document. So we'll go to create and we can share a document. We can share a set of documents in a folder. We can create a folder to which we can give upload privilege to certain users, employees, and we can create user specific documents, meaning that we can create a folder which is specific to each user and we can keep their data inside that folder. So let's see one of each of these options. So first we'll go to document here and we'll select the department. So for who all employees do I want to share this document with? So I'll be selecting like this. I can even share it with a batch. I can choose that file from here. This file can be any kind of file. No restriction on the type of file, but it has to be 5 MB maximum. So 5 MB is the size, maximum size that is allowed. I can add the file here and I can share it. And when I log in as any one of these members, I'll be able to see the file. And I can download it and view it. The second option that I have is sharing a folder. So I can create the name of the folder. I can again see the participants. So who all do I want to share it with? Again, I can attach documents, one or more from here. The third option that I have is privilege docs. So here I can create a folder and I can give upload privilege to the users. So I'll be giving the folder name. For example, let's say I want to save English question papers in this folder and I want to give this upload privilege to the English department employees. So I can select the employees like this. So now these employees, when they log in, they'll be able to upload any kind of file under this folder. Then the last option that we have is user specific docs. So here we can create a document, we can create a folder and we can make it specific to the student or the employee. So I'll give the name of the folder here. So let's say this is the name, and this folder is specific to each student. So I'll be selecting that here and I can submit it. So once I do that, I'll be able to put educational certificates or any kind of data of each student in their folder. So to do that, I'll go to Document Manager, I'll go to User Docs here, and I'll be searching the student. So here, let's say I'm searching the student, and I'll be able to see the folder that I just created for him, and I can add document related to this student here. So this I'm doing as an admin. So only the admin will be able to do this. So let's say this is the document that I have uploaded for this student. So the name of the document is close. So for the other student that I have, you will see the folder again appears. So if I search this student, I'll be able to see the folder here. And when I click on it, the folder will be empty because the folder that I created is specific to each user. So I can again choose to attach documents related to this user. So the same can be done for employees as well. So this is for keeping a repository of any kind of data for employees or for students. So this is about documents. This is about Document Manager plugin that we have. The next plugin is Google Doc. So here we'll be able to see Google Doc under collaboration by the name Google Docs. So Google Docs are the same documents that you have in your Google Drive for that particular Gmail ID using which you have logged in. So as an admin user, I have logged in using my personal mail ID. So as per the data that I have in this ID, I'll be able to see the Google Docs in Fedena. To be able to see the Google Docs, the first step is you have to enable the Google Doc plugin that you have here. And the second step is you have to do the plugin settings. So the settings, the prerequisites for Google Doc plugin are similar to what I told you for OAuth. So we have to do the plugin settings from here. Once we have done the plugin settings and once we have enabled Google Doc, I'll be able to sync the Google Drive in Fedena as per my login ID. This is not only for admin, this is for any user who has logged in using Google OAuth. So here if I'll sign in using Google account, I'll be able to sync the Google documents. And whatever change I'm doing here, so if I'm deleting a file from here, the same will get deleted from my Google Drive if I log in my Gmail account now. If I upload a document here, the same will be reflected in my Google Drive. So this is about the Google Docs plugin. The next plugin that we have is Email Alert. So we will find that under collaboration as email. Now again, to be able to use email, we have to do some settings that are provided by the SMTP provider in our country. So we'll again go to the admin panel here. We'll go to schools and we'll click on the school name and we can do the email settings from here. So I'll go to email and I'll click on add, and as per the settings that are provided to me by the SMTP provider, I'll be entering all these username, all these key value pairs here. And once I've done that, I can go to settings, and here I can enable or disable automatic email sending. So all these options that you see here, this is where automatic emails is sent. So whenever a fee is submitted by the student or the parent, automatic email will be sent. You can choose to send it to one of the users as well by unchecking the option. So you can do this for any of these options here. So this is for automatic emails. You can manually send email to employee, to student, to guardians. So here I can select the department, I can select the name of the employee, and this recipient is the to field of the email, meaning that when I've created this user, I might have given the email of this user. To the same email, the mail will be going to. So I can mention the subject and the message, and the user will be receiving this email on his personal mail ID as he has given while registering in Fedena. So this is about email alert. Now let's see data export. So we have that under data and reports, data export. And here we'll click on new. Data export is used when you want to take backup of data. And this backup is allowed only once in 30 days. So here you can take backup of any kind of data. All these options are available. So timetables, subjects, payroll categories, examinations, employee data, student data, course data, and so on. And you can get it in the form of Excel sheet or XML sheet as well, where you can use this to feed it in any other kind of application. So data export is used for backing up of data, but once in 30 days. Then we have custom report plugin that we will find under data and reports. And using this plugin, I can create any kind of report related to the personal details of the student or the employee. For example, I've created a report called Female Students in Grade 1. So I want to see the female students in grade 1, the details of the students, and these are the details that I want to see. So I have created such a report. So by this I mean that you can create any kind of report. You can choose your own columns in the report as well. So to create a report based on student or employee, I'll click on that particular button here, and I'll get an option to select the options. So for example, I want to create a report where the students belong to, let's say, the course which is, so I'm selecting the course here. So let's say they belong to course which is Kindergarten 1. So I can select that. I can select more than one course as well. So I can give like this as well. So I want to see all the students who are, let's say, staff child. So this is the category that I've already created. So I want to see the staff children of Kindergarten 1 and Kindergarten 2. So like this, I can have more than one criteria. So that criteria you have to select from here, and the value to match that criteria has to be given below. So I can give the name of this report. So I can give this appropriate name here. And then what all columns I want to see in this report have to be selected from here. So let's say I want to see the admission number, first name of such students, I want to see the batch that they belong to, and mobile number, email, all that can be selected. So all these columns are available. So these are related to their personal details. Even the additional details will be appearing here. So you can filter according to additional details as well, and even choose to have it as a column. So once I've done that, this report will appear. Since I have a lot of reports, I'll be getting it in the next paginated page. So here I'll be able to see like this. So if there are any students, staff, children of which follow the criteria, they will be appearing here. Let me show you another report. Like I have this. So I have chosen these as the columns. So they are appearing, and I've chosen grade 1 as the course and category to be staff child. Since I have such students, so I'm getting this result. I can get a CSV of it, or I can print it out. So this kind of report can also be generated for the employees. Then let's see custom import. So custom import is used when you want to import data in bulk in Fedena. So instead of using the admission form for the 200 students that you have in the institution, you can go for custom import. So you can click on new, and you can do custom import for all these models. Model means any kind of functionality that you have. So here you can do custom import for student admissions, employee admissions, attendance data of the student, and so on. So here, let's say I want to get a template for student admission. So the first step that we have to do in custom import is generate a template. So here I'll be giving the name of that template. So let's say it is template for student admission for the year 2015. And I can select what all additional fields I want. So as per the additional fields that I've created, I can select them. And the template, the empty template will get created here. Clicking on export CSV will give me the template in my system, and I can view it. I can fill that template and import it back. So this is the template that I have, and this template, please note not to change the headers of this template. Do not rename them or reorder them. You only have to fill in the row data. For example, you can fill in the admission numbers here, you can fill in the admission dates, the first name, and the mandatory fields here are similar to what you see in the admission form. So you have them as the mandatory fields here. Once you have filled in this Excel sheet, you can upload it by going to import data here. So you can choose that file and upload it. And to see whether the upload was successful or not, you have this option of imports. So you can click on imports. I am showing you for an import that I've already done. So here, and click on import log details. So it will show you like this. So it will show you the row number and the status, whether it is failed or success. Again here, please note that only failed rows have to be uploaded again. So if there is a row which is success, do not upload it. You can see the description here, correct and uploaded back. So that is why I have another upload here for the same kind of sheet, and I can view the import log details which was successful for the second time. So once I do that, I'll be able to see the users, the students who were uploaded successfully, and their profiles will be created in Fedena. So not only for students, I can do it for any kind of model. So I can do it for employee data as well, library data, exams related data of the student. So I can generate an appropriate template, fill that and upload it. So that is about custom import plugin of Fedena. Now the next plugin that we have is applicant registration. So we'll find that under academics, applicant registration. And here I'll be able to create course. So I'll be going to here manage course and add course. So this is used when you want to put a course online so that the students can register to it. So the students need not come to the institute to register. They can register for a course online. So that course which you want to make available online, you can select that. You can mention the minimum score required for the students to be able to appear or to be able to apply in this semester. So this is the minimum score that we can mention. This minimum score is of their last attended institute. So it's a qualifying criteria which may be bypassed by the admin later on. He can choose subject-based registration, meaning that the student will be allowed to select his own subjects. And if that is chosen, if subject-based collection is allowed, so this means that you can collect amount based on each subject. So we can make that active here or inactive. If you make it active, we have to mention the maximum number of electives that the student can choose and the minimum electives from here. And the amount which is associated with each elective has to be mentioned by going to administration, and here we have to go to settings and we have to go to manage course batch and manage course. We have to select that particular course here. So let's say this is the course, and we'll be able to go to manage subject. Once we do that, we'll be able to see the subjects here and we can assign them amount. So when I go here, I'll be able to assign amount. So once I've assigned the amounts to these subjects, now the same amount will be available in the applicant registration form. And I can make this online course active. So it means that the students will be able to apply for it. I can have a pin system. So only the students who have a unique number that is given to them by the admin, only those students can apply. So if you want that system to be enabled, you can activate it and you can generate the pins. Otherwise, you can make it inactive. So any student will be able to see the application form and apply in case it is inactive. We can enable the approval system. So that means that the admin will be able to put this student in a particular batch. And then we have additional details. So we can, as per the additional details that we've created, if we want them to appear in this form, applicant registration form for the student, so that he can put in these details, we can check them from here. Now the student can choose to attach documents. So he can check this option. So the documents that he's attached will be transferred to his Fedena profile once it is approved. So I can create this, open this course online for registration, and this course will be available here. Now if I have enabled the pin system, then I'll go to manage pins and I'll be able to create pins here. So I'll click on new and I'll be able to give valid from. So what is the validity of that pin? I can give the appropriate name of the pin. I can give the pin count. So how many pins I'm generating? Are the pins active? And to which batch is the pin system available, applicable? So I can save this. Once I do that, I get unique numbers that are generated here. And now to the students, to the prospective students, I have to give the link, which is the URL of the school /register. So now let's say this is the link for me /register. This link will be enabled globally, so anyone can access this link. So let's say I'm a student and I'm accessing this link. I'll be able to select my course, and I also have the PIN number. I'll be able to access the application form. If the PIN number is disabled, I'll just get this application form. I'll mention the first name. I'll mention the last name. I can mention the other details here. I can select the electives, and you can see based on the electives the amount is changing. I can upload my photo. I can put the institutional details. I can put the parent details here. I can select other additional details. I can attach files here, and I can save it. So once I've done that, if there is any applicant registration fee that is applicable, I can pay it. If online payment is enabled, I'll be able to pay it online. Otherwise, I can print this application and take it to the admin. So this is the application that I have. I can take it to the admin and pay the amount to him by cash or by check. As an admin, I'll be able to see the students who have applied for a course by going to view applicants here. And I can see here the status to be pending for the students for whom I have not allotted to a batch. So all the students will be coming here. I can click on the name to see the form that they have submitted. As per their qualifying exam score, I can choose to admit them into a batch. So I can mark them academically cleared, and if there is a pending fees that the student has not paid, I can take that fees and mark the student paid. And then I can admit the student into a batch like this. And now this student, I can see that this student will have a profile in Fedena like this. So this student will be able to log in using user 42 and user 42123. So this is about applicant registration, where the admin can put courses online for registrations and the prospective students can apply to them, and the admin can choose to admit them in a batch. Then the next plugin that we have is hostel. So we can go to academics here, and we have, we can go to administration, and we have here hostel. And we can create a hostel by going to hostel and add hostel. So I can give the name of the hostel. I can mention the type, whether it is for gents or for ladies, or is it common to all. I can mention any other information, and I can mention the total number of rooms in this hostel. So this total number of rooms is a field that is custom created. So if you want to take any kind of data besides these three fields that already appear, you can create that data by going to manage hostel additional detail. So here I've created this field called total number of rooms, and the input type is in text box. That is why I was able to input the number of rooms here. So once I've created this hostel, I can add rooms to it by clicking on add room, and I'll be selecting the hostel. I'll be giving the starting room number and the students per room, so it may be 1 or 2, and the rent that each student has to pay, and number of rooms, number of such rooms. So let's say 4 such rooms are available. So there will be 4 rooms which will be created starting from K001. I can see those details by selecting the hostel like this. And this rent may be weekly or monthly. So as per what rent fee do you create? So that fee will show that rent. So now room allocation, here we can search the student. So let's say this is the student, and for this student I can assign him a hostel like this. I can allocate him a room. I can do this for another student as well. So I'll be able to again assign him a room. And once I've done that, I can create fees by going to fee collection. So here I can create batch-wise fees or user-wise. So batch-wise is used when you've allocated all the students to rooms and now you want to create the fees for a batch. Some of the students of that batch may not have a room, so for them the fees will not be applicable. So I'll go to batch-wise fee collection. I'll be selecting the batch here. So let's say this is the batch, and I'll be giving the name of the fee collection. And I'll be giving the start date, end date, and the due date. After due date, I will be able to collect the fine from the student besides the fees rent. Now I can go to hostel fee pay or pay student hostel fee. So hostel fee pay is when you can select a batch, you can select a collection, and you will be able to collect the fees from the student. So here it will show pay fees. When you click on it, you will be able to collect the fees from the student like this. So you can mention the payment mode, you can mention the note, and this is the amount, the rent for that room. We can mention the fine if the due date is crossed. Other ways, we can search the student here. So here we can search the student by the name and we can see his fee collection and we can collect the amount from the student. We can see the fee defaulters from here. So for a particular batch, we can see the fee defaulter and we can also collect the fees by going to P fees from here. We can see the report. So what all hostels are there? What is the type of the hostel? Total number of rooms. We can click on the rooms and see other details. How many rooms are available? Like this. And it shows the occupants, which can be changed or the room can be vacated. So this is about the hostel plugin that we have. Now let's see the inventory plugin. So we'll go to administration and we have here inventory. And we'll be able to create the categories of the store or the type of the store. So category, the way you want to categorize the store in your institute, and type will be similar to the category. So if you see here, I've created a category something like furniture, stationery, or academic store, classroom related, and so on. So the way I want to categorize the store, and the type will be similar. You may choose to give it the same name or a different one. So I've given the same name here like academic store, classroom items, stationery, and so on. Then I can create the store by going to store here. So I've created this store called classroom inventory. You can give a code. What is the type of the store? So the type and the category are the ones that we created. So like this, we can select from here. So these are the ones that we have created. And we can give invoice prefix. So now if from this store you are going to sell items, you can mention the prefix that will be appearing on the bill that you generate and you give to the buyer. So for example, for pantry, which is another store that I've created, the invoice prefix is pan. Now once I've created the store, Now I'll be creating item categories. So here, based on the category of the item that I have in the store, which I want to sell, I'll be creating the category. So I'll give the name of the category and some associated code. Then I can create store item. So this is where I'm going to put the items in the store now. So I'll click on new, give the store name, select the store. So in which store I want to put the item. So let's say in pantry. I can give the item name. So I can give the item name like this. I can mention the code, the quantity of this item that is available, the unit price. If while buying these items I was charged any tax, I can mention it. And these items will be coming to me in a lot. So the supplier will be giving in a particular batch. So that batch number can be mentioned here, and whether these items are sellable can be checked. If I do that, we have to put them in a particular category. So once I do that, so this way I have created many items in this store, so they appear like this. So this is where you can track what is the item that you have in the store, what is the quantity of the item, and what is the unit price. So all the details of a particular store will be available here. For example, for classroom inventory, I have chalks, dusters, and markers. And this is the quantity that is available. So now whenever we want to order a new item in the store, we'll be contacting a supplier. So those details we have to put in the supplier type. For example, I've created a supplier type called stationery supplier. So I have to give the name and the code. And then I have to create the supplier details. So I'll be giving the name of the supplier and what is the type of the supplier like this. And the other details as well for the reference so that I can contact him at a later point. And then as an employee, I can request for any kind of item that is there in the store. So indent is required when you want to request for a non-sellable item. For example, chalks, dusters, markers, or any stationery related item which I do not want to sell to the employee. So as an employee, I should be given inventory basics privilege, and I should have a manager to be able to raise an indent. So I'll go to indents and I'll go to new. So let's say I'm doing this as an employee, and indent number will automatically appear. From which store do I want? What is the description? And what is the item? So I want chalks, available is 900 and required is 100. So all these details, once I save it, this intent is created and my manager will be able to approve this intent. Now if I log in as a manager of the employee who created this indent, so under inventory I'll get this option of indents and I'll be able to view the pending indents here. So here I'll be able to accept, edit or delete this indent request. So if I click on accept, I'll be able to issue it or reject it. Once it is issued, I'm assuming that this employee has got the 100 chalks with him now. So if I see the store item quantity, you will see it has become 800 from 900. So this is because an employee has raised an intent and it got approved. Now as a store manager, I want to maintain the quantity of items that I have in the store. So I'll be raising purchase order with the supplier. So here I'll be able to click on purchase order, new, and purchase order number will appear automatically. In which store do I want the item, from which supplier I want it, and the supplier name will accordingly appear. And I can mention the item that I want and the quantity of such item. So I want 100 chalks in my store. So currently I have the quantity as 800. I want to maintain it to 900. So like this I'm creating this purchase order. Again, the manager of the person who is creating this purchase order needs to approve it. So when I log in as a manager, I'll be able to see the pending purchase orders like this, and I can issue it here. Again, I can approve it or reject it from here. And now the next step is the supplier will be getting the 100 chalks to the institute. So we have to generate a goods receipt note for the supplier. So here I'll be clicking on new, and I'll be selecting the purchase order for which I am generating this receipt. The invoice number as in the invoice that is given to me by the supplier, and same invoice date. And if the supplier is charging any shipment charges or any other kind of charges, they can be mentioned here. And now the goods receipt note is generated. So this printout of this can be taken out and can be given to the supplier, and I can see the store item now. It will be back to 900. Now to sell an item in a store, I'll go to billing and I'll click on new. So here is where I'm generating the invoice. So from which store, who am I issuing it to? So it can be a parent, it can be a student, it can be an employee. And the details of the parent or the concerned user here will appear automatically. PAN number, invoice number will appear automatically. So this was the prefix that we gave. The item we can select like this, and other details will appear. Quantity can be modified here. And additional charges can be mentioned here. And any discounts can also be mentioned. If you mark this invoice to be is paid, it means that this invoice cannot be edited now. Otherwise, I'll be able to edit the invoice, add more items to it, and so on. So this invoice can be printed. This is the invoice. It can be printed. And I can see these details from selecting like this. So which is the invoice number? What is the date when it was created? What was the total charges? And the invoices which are unpaid can be edited. Other reports are also available under report section. So I have reports, the general reports for indents, purchase orders, and GRNs as per their type. So we can search like this. So for a particular duration, I can see the issued or the pending indents like this. Similarly for purchase order and GRNs. Then I can see the sales report, so I can see how many items were sold from the store during a particular duration. So what is the available quantity, what is the sold quantity. So this is about the inventory plugin. Now let's see the library plugin. So here when we go to academics, we have library. And here we can create books in the library by going to manage books. So here we'll add books. Now addition of books can also be done using custom import. Other way is the barcode method. So if you have a barcode reader, you can use that over each book, and the barcode number of the book will automatically come here. You can fill in the other details and save the book in the library. Otherwise, we have the general method, which is by the book number. So here we can give the title of the book, like this. We can mention the author. The tags will help us search this book. So you can mention the tags here. And we can also give custom tags to this book and how many copies of this book are available in the library. And then we can have additional details. So like we had for hostel, we have for transport, we have for student and so on, I've created them again for the book. So here I can select the age group, I can enter the ISBN and the price of the book. Now these details, additional details, I've created them in Manage Book Additional Details, this link here. So these details are coming up when I'm adding the book. And for age group, I've done it a select box. That is why I get these options. You can also make it a text box, so you can enter any kind of data there. So the books will appear here. So I already have a lot of books. So let me show you the books. They have appeared here. So A89, which is the starting book number, to A93. And the status of the books are available. I can view them to see more details, which will also show the additional details. I can search a book. So here by barcode, book number, title, tag or author. So I'll be able to search the book like this and I can see the details as well. Then I can issue the book. So I can search the book by the barcode or the book number like this. I can click on the book title and I can issue the book to the student or the employee. So here I'll be able to search like this by the employee admission number. I can click on the name and the details will appear here. So the employee number, how many books are already issued to the employee, and the issue date and the due date will appear here. So the book can be issued to this employee. Now the book can be renewed, meaning that the book can be reissued for the duration. So I'll search this book again by the barcode or the book number and I can just click on renew because the due date automatically comes renewed. So the due date of this book for this employee will increase. Then I can take the book back, which is return book. So I can search the book and I'll be able to return the book. Now if the due date of the book is passed, I'll also get an option to enter library fine here. And that library fine details can be seen by going to library fines, and for a particular duration that I have here, I'll be able to see all the fines that are collected. So like this. So who is the student or the employee and what is the amount of fine that they have paid and on what date. I can see the movement log. So it shows what all books are issued or due for a particular date. Then I have managed tags where I can see all the tags that I've created and what are the related tagged books. So this is about the library module of Fedena. Now let's see the transport module. So we have transport under administration, transport. And here we can set route for the transport. So we'll click on add route and we can give the destination of the route. So the last point of this transport route. So from, let's say from your institute, there's a vehicle that goes till end point D. So I'm creating this endpoint, which is the last point of the vehicle. And what is the fare? Again, this fare can be weekly or monthly as per how you want to create the fees. So we also have transport fee that we can schedule. Now the main route, if this is the end point of the vehicle, do not select anything in main route. The distance from school is additional field that I have created. So it is appearing here. So I can save this and the point gets created. Now between the institute and endpoint E, let's say there is point 1. So I'll again add route, give the name point 1. What is the fare? Of course it will be lesser than the last point. Now between the school and last point, this point 1 will appear. So what is that last point? So it is endpoint E. Distance from school, so let's say it is 2 kilometers, like this. So like this I have to add all the points between the school and endpoint E here, like this, along with the fares. And once this is done, I have to now create vehicle. So I'll click on add vehicle. I'll give the name of the vehicle here, the main route. So to which endpoint is this vehicle going? So it will be going to endpoint E, how many seats are available, what is the driver name. So all these details can be filled in. So these additional details are the ones that are created by me. So the last 5 details that you see, these are additional details. So let me show you where I've created them. For route, I have created the additional detail here, distance from school. So that is why it was asking whenever I was creating a route. And for vehicle, I have created here. And then we can assign the transport to the student or the employee. So here I can search the employee like this, and I can assign the transport to this employee. So what is the route that he is following? In this route, where is the employee going to drop down? So all the routes are appearing till that endpoint. What is the vehicle? This fare can be edited as well here. So like this, I can create for the employees and I can create for the students as well here. And once I've done that, I can create the transport fee. So I'll go to fee collection and I can create batch wise or user wise. So this is similar to what we saw in hostel. So we'll be selecting the batch after assigning all the students to a vehicle. Now in case of employees, I'll just check this include employee and give the transport fee name here. So let's say it is for the month of Feb, like this. And I can create it. Once I do that, I'll be able to collect these fees by going to pay transport fee here. So I'll be searching the employee like this. I'll be able to see the fee collection, and this is the fare that I created, and I can mention the payment note and the mode and pay it and generate the receipt here. And we can see the defaulters. So for a particular batch, which all students have not paid the fare can be seen. Employee defaulters are available here. We can see the report. So all the vehicles, what are their destinations, number of seats that are available, and on clicking on them we'll be able to see more details like this: who have occupied, what is the type of the passenger, and at what point they are getting down at the route. So this is about transport. So we are done with all the add-on modules that we have in Fedena.